Good morning, Vicky. Another Saturday. How are you doing, my friend?
Good morning, my friend. I'm perfect. I'm so happy to be here. What about you? How
I'm
was your week?
I'm amazing. I'm amazing. And let's say also good morning to our wonderful listeners, our
Yeah,
versus visionaries. So, Vicky, shall we get going?
let's do it. I'm here. I'm ready.
Today we are diving into a topic that is as crucial as it is compelling. It's about self-worth versus self-destruction. So, have you ever felt like you are tiptoeing within your own life and you see the better of you somewhere in the distance, but there are these kind of lurking forces pulling you back?
So much.
So much, right? This is where actually self-sabotage is taking place, right? And today we are going to explore how to recognize the signs, how to break the destructive pattern, and to step into a life where self-worth is supreme. Because after all, we all deserve the things which are better for us, and that is the better version of yourself and of us in general, right?
Yes. In fact, I have many stories about self-sabotage and the lack of self-worth. But I think the most relevant is the one that I kept repeating for many years, that it was staying in toxic relationships and pushing myself to be there for so long, or for like stand in so many situations that were not aligned with what I really am, you know?
Yeah,
So
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
yes, you also been there, right?
I've been
So
I've been there so many times, and
mhm,
you tell your story, and actually knowing a bit, things from your life. I have a bit of a story to say as
okay.
well, just to be as compelling as we can for our
Hmm.
listeners.
Yeah. Uh, at that time, I didn't realize that I was like in this self-destruction and lack of self-worth. I was just going and repeating patterns. And I was asking myself, after some many years of going in these kind of situations, I was like looking at the world and asking myself, why do people minimize us? Why they mistreat me, why they abuse me. And at that time, I was not like conscious about all these questions. And I started thinking about them when I started developing my self-worth. I started in this personal growth and taking care of myself, and I could see it differently. And the worst, the worst thing that came to me is that the answer to all these questions was that I was destroying myself. I mean, I was receiving all this mistreatment, all these abuses, because I was doing the same with myself. And I was not like conscious about how many times I affected myself with different situations that were not healthy to my body, to my soul, to my heart, and it
So,
was so painful to realize this.
so Vicky, is there any kind of example from your life, like a before and after? I think it's important to really show the transformation with through which you went through. So can you elaborate more on the before and after scenario?
Okay. One situation that came to my mind, and in fact, I'm not proud of this, you know. I'm not proud of this situation, but it kept in my mind for so long, and I was like saying, okay, it's good to remember this in order not to do it again.
Okay.
And this situation was when I got my heart broken. Many years ago, I told you in one of the episodes, I broke with my fiance, and I was completely
Devastated.
Devastated. My heart was like a whole black hole here, you know? And at some point I went on a trip, and I was in this trip, and it was a week. It was the last week of this trip, and I started partying hard, you know? And I started partying, I started drinking, I started smoking, and it was a whole week doing these activities, a whole week. I hadn't done this before, you know, every day, like partying, smoking and drinking. And I remember at the end of the week, it was the last time of my trip, I was sitting in front of the sea, just staring at the sea, because I was not able to do anything else. I was not able to move. I was not able to talk. I was just like staring with my eyes like lost in the ocean. And at that time, I didn't realize what was happening. But on the following day, I came back home, and for the next 3 months, I felt the consequence of this experience. And it was a consequence so deep, because it was not just my body. I could feel that in my body, some strange processes were like happening. I was not able to eat as normal. I was not able like to think quite as usual. And I took those 3 months to reflect on my life and said, what am I doing? And the conclusion was that I was destroying myself. I was destroying myself because I couldn't find anything worth on myself. And that was so painful, you know? And I said, wait a minute, I tried to do it because I had a pain. My heart was broken, and I felt so much pain that I tried to avoid and numb that pain. And at the end, the pain was still there, and it was even higher, like bigger, you know, and deeper. So I was destroying myself unconsciously.
Well, Vicky, I can relate to your story because on a different type of self-destruction, also stepping out from a long time relationship, I just, you know, went straight on in becoming an workaholic. And being an workaholic, it comes with the same kind of like, you know, bad habits, sleep deprivation, pressure, stress. And I think is as damaging as any kind of other bad habits which you mentioned, right? Now, what I realized, and it took me, you were like, you know, 3 months in, it took me 12 months to realize that it took me 12 months to realize that actually I'm on a path when I was not paying much attention about my health. I was eating junk food. I didn't sleep well. I was stressed. I was crying out of anything, right? So realizing this, what I started to do, I started to really understand what are those kind of like, you know, bad habits coming from a moment of not realizing your self-worth and trying to change them, right?
Yes.
Because changing these kind of like habits which make us feel unworthy, that's the moment when someone becomes stronger.
Yes.
Right? So
Yes.
to me, this kind of like, you know, being very aware, the self-awareness plays a very important role in it's fundamental, right? Yeah. Self-aware that maybe drinking is not a good idea. right? Maybe smoking is not a good idea either. Maybe just like, going, and working 12, 14 hours a day and going to bed with your head muddy with all the things, maybe that's not a good idea either, right?
Yes.
So to me, what are those kind of things which you did or I did in order to move from these kind of habits defining the disruptive, the destructive way, and moving into a way of being much more like, worthy, loving ourselves, and being, closer to our inner core and acknowledging, what's going on with us.
Yes. I think the first thing we have to do is to acknowledge that those habits, those activities are not like contributing to our healthy life, first of all, because many times we lie to ourselves saying, no, but I have a great time. I had a great time. I love partying, or I love drinking. No, when I smoke, I relax, I feel better. But at the end, what's the result of that, It's like the first thing I did was, okay, I realized that the result was not what I expected. So I started looking for the why I'm doing this, and what for. And I realized that I was trying to numb an emotion. I was trying to let that pain go away, but it was not the way of doing it, because I was just pushing it inside below the carpet, and it was still there. That's why those activities were not helping me. Yeah. So once I acknowledged this, I started like practicing what it's called the reparenting. That's
interesting.
I need to become my new mom and my new dad, because I'm a grown-up. I'm not a child anymore. So I need to be responsible for myself. So what I did is like a maternal list, let's say, with a lot of rules for myself, saying, okay, how I'm going to take care of you. What I need to eat better. Okay, let's do a list of the things I need to do. I need to rest more. Okay, I'm going to take breaks from the work, and I will do it. Oh, I'm feeling this. Okay, I'm going to put like a bullet for reflecting, a reflecting time. Like it's time to reflect on the day. So I started doing this list, and even in small things that many times we don't see. As you said, with all this work and non-stopping for anything, I was the same. I was like working, and then while I was preparing my breakfast or my lunch, I was still listening to videos, watching videos, and studying, and I was not stopping. So that is also on my list. While you eat, you're not going to use the phone. Even when you go to the bathroom, I don't know if someone is like connected with this. Even when we go to the bathroom, we use the phone, So I started like giving myself some rules to respect and order my life in a way that it is healthier.
Yeah. I also connecting with your self-worth. I think that's a reflection of how much you self-love you, right?
Yes.
So what I'm doing, and I find this exercise extremely funny, especially when you are doing with your inner circle. So I write down randomly, almost like, every week, the things which I love about myself.
I love it.
So things which I love about myself, and after that, when you are reaching a list of like 100 things, I think actually I was very proud of it. But the other thing, the other things which I'm doing is that I'm asking my friends, what are the things which they like about me in a specific situation, And even just like, thinking about our friendship or thinking about why we are still friends after so many years. Because being close to someone, it means that there is a why behind, right?
Yes.
And I think this kind of list of things which people love about me and I love about myself helps me to strengthen my self-worth.
Yes.
And it strengthens that kind of like, power which comes from external and meets the within in a way that I'm not gonna let any other bad habits or negative thoughts to destroy that.
Yes, exactly. Because when you start like paying attention to all this and working on yourself, this like black hole and this lack of self-worth starts like coming up, we are all self-worth, we are all worthy enough because we are here. Just because we are here, just because we are born, we are worthy of a beautiful life.
Yeah, there is. I know that you like another quote, but I do like one quote, and it's part of this kind of I would say spiritual enlightenment, right?
Okay.
And Buddha was saying that you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection.
It's beautiful.
This is very powerful, right?
Yes.
And it's
just
not
because we are here.
Just because we are here, we are in this moment, and we are coming into this world with our vibrations, with our unique why. And this is something which we are going to talk more about, right? I think, we all deserve to be focused on this self-love and affection, which we really need to nurture ourselves and to be gentle.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So Vicky, what messages from the universe in this context of like, self-worthiness, what messages from the universe you have, my friend?
Well, this week, Mercury will be highly active. Mercury is connecting with Uranus, with Neptune, with Lilith, with Pluto, and Mercury represents our intellect, our communication, and even our inner self-talk. So many times this lack of self-worth starts in our mind. We believe
self-talk with our self-talk.
Exactly. We believe that we are not worthy enough of beautiful things or of love or whatever. We believe it. So we need to start here. And this week with Mercury and all its energy, we can use it in order to maybe change the lenses with which we see our life, because that's also representative from Mercury. It's the way we see reality. So if we change our lenses, we can see it differently. So we can take advantage of all this energy to start recognizing those thoughts, those patterns we repeat, what we say to ourselves, and start like changing these self-destruction patterns into self-worth. And the first thing we can do is be impeccable with our words. That is
amazing.
It's the first agreement from the book of Miguel Ruiz. It's the first Toltec agreement, and it's being impeccable with your words. But in order to do it, we have to pay attention to what words we say, So we can use Mercury for this.
I think attention, acknowledgement, action. I'm calling this the triple A, right?
Oh, I love it.
You have to acknowledge, right? You really need to to take action, right? Because without that, just being knowing but not doing anything about it is as disruptive and destructive like anything else, like any other bad habits, right?
Exactly. You will be there until you do something different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Vicky. Amazing. Anything else from the universe, or shall we
There are many things, but for now, I would like you to give some action to our versus visionaries. What do you say?
Well, I'm going to keep it simple for this week, right? I think talking about self-worth, it just, I was just thinking in my mind about a couple of words coming up, to really increase my self-worthiness. So what I will ask our versus visionary is that take a pen right now. Think 10 minutes and put on paper at least 30 things, 30 things, which you love about yourself. After that, go and talk with your significant other, talk with your friends, and try to build up that list up to 100. And when you reach 100, give us a sign. Like us, dislike us on YouTube. Tell us, ladies, girls, I reach my 100, and I just recognize that my self-worth increased 100 times. So this is the call to action to our versus visionaries. And I think, Vicky, until next time.
Until next time, my friend. See you and
all
harmonize
the best to
your
you.
contrasts.
Big love. Big love. Big love. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.